I've had quite a few people that were interested in setting up their own citizenship by investment development, whether it be in St. Kitts and Nevis or some of the other Caribbean countries. Now, St. Kitts and Nevis, of course, has been around longer than the other countries. They started these developments back in the early 1980s. They've got almost around 100 different developments in St. Kitts and Nevis together, by far a lot more than the other countries. So there's a lot more to choose from people. St. Kitts also has more visa-free travel than any of the other fast-track programs, and that's why I would tell you, if you're going to be doing it, I would pick St. Kitts over the other ones, because more people now are looking for the country that offers the most visa-free travel. And remember, there are only two in the fast-track citizenship program that has no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, and that's the Antigua and Barbuda and St. Kitts and Nevis. But St. Kitts does have more visa-free travel than Antigua and Barbuda. Now, we've got quite a few developers that have come to St. Kitts that literally did not have any experience in building, but I'm going to show you how you can actually do this and do it right, and not have experience doing this. Okay, but you got to understand that you're going to have to do this right. And if you follow these steps, I don't think you have a problem. But remember, if you come to St. Kitts, there's no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. And if you're from a country that taxes worldwide income to its citizens, like the U.S., then you would have to qualify for the foreign earned income exclusion and be outside the U.S. long enough to be able to qualify for that. Otherwise, you'd have to relinquish your U.S. citizenship if you want some really big tax breaks from doing that here in St. Kitts. Now, if you're trying to do it from the U.S., having a development in St. Kitts and then live in the U.S., you could do that, but you're not going to have the big tax breaks. So you're going to have to be outside the U.S. long enough to qualify for the foreign earned income exclusion to be able to qualify for the big benefits, which is roughly around $112,000 for a husband, $112,000 for a wife, which is roughly $224,000 a year, plus there are other write-offs on top of this that you can actually get, really your taxes to zero, depending on your income. If your income is real high, like, $1 million a year, you're going to have some tax obligations if you don't, if you're still a U.S. citizen. But now, and if you eventually relinquish, we can show you how to get your income taxes to zero, no matter what your income is. Now, if you're from a country like this, a high tax country like Australia, Italy, a country like this, you just have to be outside that country long enough to where, they're not going to tax you legally on your worldwide income anymore, because you've severed your ties residency-wise with that country. Now, what do you look for, and how do you do this in setting up your own development? Well, first of all, you have to have a business plan. You have to submit it to the CIU department. That's the Citizenship by Investment department in St. Kitts. And then what they'll do is they'll review it. They'll look at the business plan, and they're going to want some financial information from you. And then, and then once you're approved, then you'd basically start your development. Now, some things I would like to go over with you is, first of all, I would not try to do a 5-star resort development. If you do that, you're going to have to make the units very small, or do fractional units. And I've told people before, fractional units is not the way to go when you're actually doing this. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen right here, and the notification bell next to it. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Okay, now this is the way it would work, is you would have to, of course, pick your development that you want. And, we can help you do that. But you definitely need to spend some time, doing that and making sure that you've got a development that you like. And one of the two important things that you're going to have to do is you're going to need to get subcontractors, and we can help you with that, because there's good subcontractors and there's bad ones. But you need to get ones that are good enough where you don't have to be telling them what to do. You ought to have some sort of, basic knowledge. You want to have the floors level and stuff like this, and make sure that the windows, you can open and close them. There's, basic things that you have to look for, but usually good subcontractors know what they're doing. But you need to get also a good architect to actually design the project. And again, like I mentioned to you, I probably would not do a 4 or 5 star resort. And one reason is they're probably going to be very expensive or very small units, or you're going to have to do fractional units if you do them. You want to have the most square footage that you can get for a unit that's at least 400,000, because that's the minimum that people have to invest if they're buying a citizenship by investment unit in St. Kitts and Nevis. So so you want to try to get your materials down to where they're quality materials, but they're basic materials to where you can get your square footage up high and get your cost down as low as possible and still qualify for citizenship. Now, again, you want to get good bricklayers, people that are good with concrete, people that are good carpenters, plumbers, electricians, and we can help you actually pick those type people, because we've been here for a long time and know good quality people for that. But that's a real important thing that you need to look for. Now, again, big advantages of St. Kitts versus the other different citizenship by investment countries is St. Kitts again and Nevis have no income tax. So that's a big, you're already ahead of the game in trying to make more profit by being in a country where you don't have that. We also have a property tax that's close to zero. It's only 0.20% of whatever you're purchasing, with a $29,600 US exclusion before that 0.20% kicks in. So that it's very low. It's about it's about maybe 5 to 10 times lower, in some cases 12 times lower than what you'd see in the USA as far as the property taxes, depending on the state that you're actually comparing it with. New Jersey's about 12 times higher than it is for the property tax in St. Kitts and Nevis. So that's a huge difference there. Now, like I said to you before, income tax is a big thing you ought to be looking for. But income tax will not help you unless you're outside the U.S. If you're a U.S. National, you're going to have to be out long enough to qualify for the foreign earned income exclusion. If you're from another high tax country outside the U.S. that taxes based on worldwide income, again, you only have to break those tax ties long enough to qualify legally, where you don't have to pay taxes in that other high tax country that taxes worldwide income. Now, one thing that's nice about St. Kitts, it's very easy to build in St. Kitts. You've got nice weather all year round. You don't have the snow, the real hot weather. Be honest with you, I don't even use heat or air conditioning all year round. That's how moderate the weather is. The weather is so nice in St. Kitts. It's the nicest weather of any place I've been anywhere in the world. But that makes it real nice for building, because you don't have a lot of time that you're barred out from working and building. And it just makes it a lot easier for doing that. And also, if you've got children, your kids will love it in St. Kitts. You got water skiing, hiking, fishing, boating. You can go play tennis, golf all the time. You don't have this wet, coldy, rainy, drizzly type weather that you see in a lot of places all over the world. And your kids, really, when they come down here and live in St. Kitts, a lot of times they don't want to leave. I mean, the weather is just so nice. But this makes it nice for building. It's nice for your children, for your family, and it's just a lot of fun. Now, the key, again, like I said, you need to pick a good architect, good subcontractor, especially if your knowledge is not very good. But you need good architects and good subcontractors anyway, even if your knowledge is real good in building. But you won't, that minimizes your headache quite a bit. And I would maybe stay away from 5-star resorts. Try to keep your square footage high and have your cost for the most that people can get for the $400,000 limit. That way you're real competitive in the marketplace. Also, again, the limit is $400,000. So if you go with a fractional unit, which I wouldn't advise you building, the minimum is $200,000 for fractionals that you can sell, where people can qualify for citizenship. If people want to have own their own unit where it's not fractional, the minimum is $400,000. Now you have to hold the property for 5 years if it's a full unit with a minimum of $400,000. If the investment is bought at that limit, if it's a fractional unit, you have to hold it for 7 years before you can resell it. But I will tell you this, it's harder to resell fractional units than full units at the $400,000 US dollar limit. So these are some things you really need to be writing down and to concentrate on before you start building your development. Another key thing you need to look at is location. Location. Big thing that you need to look at, folks. You need to be looking at areas I would be staying away from the north end of the island. I would be sticking Southeast Peninsula, the middle part of the island, around Frigate Bay. If it was me, I would stick with Frigate Bay first. Look maybe at the Southeast Peninsula. Southeast Peninsula is very expensive, but it is prettier than when you get back towards, actually the whole country is pretty. You go back to the north part of the island, it's pretty. But I think what you're going to see is the more luxurious type resorts. The higher end is going to go from Half Moon Bay to Frigate Bay all the way to the Southeast Peninsula. Those are the areas I would be looking at if you're going to be putting your developments up, and I would not go outside of those areas, okay? Easier to resell them. That's my opinion, okay? So again, Half Moon Bay, Frigate Bay, all the way to the Southeast Peninsula. Don't go from Frigate Bay back towards the north end of the island. It's going to be harder to sell those units. And, you know, the land is cheaper, but I'm going to tell you, when people come in, they're going to want to be close to the nice beaches, and that's not close to the nice beaches. It's harder to sell there. These are the places you need to be looking at. If you want to know more of this, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. We can help you in selecting your developments, your subcontractors, your architect. This is what you need to look for. But if you're looking for a great business opportunity that's income tax free, this is a great opportunity, folks. And the citizenship by investment industry is just booming in St. Kitts and Nevis. Again, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. And number two is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And folks, don't forget, hit the subscribe button at the right of your screen right here and the notification bell next to it. We got over 700 videos. This is where you pull up a lot of good tips on how to save money on taxes and how to get a passport real fast. And I'll look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.